That record holds now that the camera
Hello everyone, welcome back to the Grand Prix Podcast. I'm Elton. This, as always, is Andy.
Hello!
And we are, well, what have we got in front of us? We've got the 2017 Mexico Grand Prix, or Mexican Grand Prix.
Yes, that one.
Yeah, Mexican Grand Prix. Mexican.
Mexican or Mexicant, yeah.
No, you are. No. Swear words
We
and
don't,
everything.
we don't live in Americant, we live in American. Oh, wait, I am an American. I think I rescued that pretty well.
Well done you. Yes. Just to let everyone know, just in case you haven't really worked it out just yet, we're idiots. We like to talk about Formula One. We like to talk about Formula One. We do get things wrong, but, tough. If you want something else that's really informative and knows everything, is really quite dull, move on. It's fine. Otherwise, you've got us idiots to talk Formula One to. So, there we go. Oh, we may swear as well. So, there's your warnings. So,
yes.
I think we're pretty covered already. Okay, so, the Grand Prix. Have we got tons of stuff? Because, I didn't expect to enjoy this one. And I thoroughly enjoyed this race. I really did.
It had some interesting moments in it.
Yeah, but okay, let me set the scene. I got called out on a night call because I was on standby this weekend at around about 4:00. And I knew that it'd take me 2 hours to get to the call, 2 hours to get back from the call, and to do the call in the middle as well. So I knew I was going to be missing the start of this race. And yeah, missed it, but watched it on catch up very, very, just about an hour behind. So wasn't too sad, but obviously it's not live, so you can't really cheer them on, can you?
No.
But yeah, I really enjoyed this. I thought it was full of everything.
I think, well, I mean, look, if you listen to this, we're going to assume you've watched the Grand Prix or at least know what's going on.
Well, I hope so, yeah.
It was perhaps the worst way to win the championship, but it was still an exciting race in of itself.
In the way that you say the worst way to win a championship, is it because it's not gun-ho exciting crossing the line at the very last minute, passing the person you need to pass in the very last corner type thing?
Yeah, it's kind of like, we kind of realised by halfway through the race that it was a done deal, barring, a miracle.
It was a done deal last race, surely.
I know it was a done, but there was always the hope. Vettel had out qualified it. There was the hope still, and then that went away. And when I say it was the worst, again, it's like I always feel that when they win the championship, and frankly, if you don't win the race, you win the championship, and I'm always a little disappointed. If you're not on the podium, it's kind of like, well, that's kind of awkward. And to kind of sulk across the line in eighth. And okay, I'm doing him a disservice, but still, it was like, at least now they will bring the driver, to the podium or wherever and do something at that point. But it used to be back in the day, if you weren't on the podium when you won the championship, well, you weren't invited to the celebrations, basically.
Yeah. I felt that the end of this race was a bit of a mess. All a bit. They weren't too sure where to point their cameras at and show the celebration at, really.
Yeah.
If the winner of the championship is on the podium, at least all the cameras are focused on there instead of 4 or 5 following someone running down the track.
Yeah, you got the 3 up on the podium and there's no one there. And they're like, hello. Hello.
I'm looking forward to talking about that podium as well.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I got to do it now. When the podium spun round and there was a DJ, jumping up and down, and all the drivers like, yeah, dude, look, we've been racing for an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes. We're cream crackered, and now you want me to jump up and down? Nah, ain't gonna happen. I thought that was brilliant.
Yeah. It was just like, someone didn't think that one through, did you? Although I will say, if at any time the podium turns around and it's Daft Punk there, I'd find the energy.
Yeah, I could dig that. I've got no problems in that. But just, I don't even know who the DJ is. I'm so old, it doesn't really matter anyway.
It must be down with the kids like Gasly and Verstappen and all that.
Yeah, I bet they were looking out for him rinsing out some tunes that they like.
Sure, yes.
That's what they say anyway.
Isn't it, though?
Yeah.
Stan.
Anyway, so between the American Grand Prix and the Mexican Grand Prix, was there any news that happened?
A little bit of news.
Okay.
One Mr. D. Kvyat was told to go forth and multiply. You're not welcome here. Your services are no longer required. Mm-hmm. And fuck off with the horse you rode in on.
That's right. Didn't we, at the end of last week, I know we mentioned that. Did we say about him being demoted and then Max Verstappen winning?
We didn't say it last week. We did say we didn't think we'd see Kvyat again, but we didn't think he'd be dropped by Red Bull like that.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, again, the Kvyat curse, which obviously now means that Verstappen will never win in Formula One again.
No, never again. Never again.
Yeah. So, that was that. What else did we have news-wise?
I know Bernie dropped a bomb, didn't he?
Oh, you do that one then.
Well, Bernie Ecclestone threw a holy hand grenade into everything. And
did he count to 5?
He did not count to 6. 7 was right out of the question.
No, you count to 3. 1, 2, 5. Freezer! 3!
Anyway, he threw a hand grenade into the pit, saying that the FIA were helping out Ferrari whenever they needed it. Or they were very forward in helping them out in certain situations. And he left it at that. Now, I'd like to know what situations the FIA helped Ferrari out. Bernie also said he kind of helped out Ferrari because Formula One need Ferrari and Ferrari need Formula One. I'd like to know what situations, because I don't think you can just turn around and say that.
Well, to be fair, it's demonstrably true, because Ferrari get how much money for just showing up?
100 mil, isn't it?
So, I mean, they get more than bloody Mercedes does just for showing up, and Mercedes bloody won the championship. It was always Bernie's and presumably Max Mosley's policy was keep Ferrari sweet. They had a very overinflated sense of Ferrari's importance. But I think we discussed this last time, possibly the time before, where I was like, well, fucking call their bluff. Where are Ferrari going to go? Nowhere. That's where.
Yeah.
So I'm certainly of the opinion these days that Ferrari need Formula One a hell of a lot more than Formula One needs Ferrari.
Definitely. Yeah.
So yeah, and again, Bernie Ecclestone is effectively now what he's always been, is a cranky old man, except now he doesn't actually have any power to wield. So now he's just a crazy old man shouting from the sidelines, get off my lawn, you damn kids.
He's throwing his own feces at the TV screen now, isn't he?
The nurses are stealing my medication.
It has got to that point, isn't it?
It pretty much has. He still walks up with that. He rocks up with that same white shirt that's not been washed since 1976. So
a child shirt, nonetheless.
Yes. Men's small, boys small. Sorry. So yeah, it's fuck Bernie. Look, mate, I respect you for building up the sport to a point, but then you kind of went on too far and in a mess, mostly because of your politicking.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep. Yeah, that was a thing that happened there. So, yeah.
So, yeah. With this, I'd just like to see a bit of proof. I'd like to have him brought to task for this. I just honestly don't think you can say these things and then get away with it.
You shouldn't do, but again, it's just Formula One. No one's going to go after old Bernie at this, not yet, anyway.
No, well, we're talking about a man who got out of jail on bribery charges by paying off people. Isn't that a bribe? Surely. And also, he paid off.
No, It was merely sundry business expenses, cost of doing business, if you will.
Business in a brown paper bag.
Not non-taxable bonuses.
He also paid more to stay out of jail than the ransom on his wife's mother when she was kidnapped.
Well, he refuses to negotiate with terrorists.
Oh dear. Anyway, sorry. Go on, carry on.
Okay. Let's see. There was a bit of fallout from the end of the US Grand Prix about old Max Verstappen, and presumably Josh as well, saying some nasty things about the stewards. With Charlie Whiting suggested he would like to see Max apologise for those statements. I don't know if he actually did apologise. Did he? Do you know?
On Instagram.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes it all better then.
That's how 20-year-olds apologise now. Sorry, Mum. On Instagram. Sad face.
Yeah. So yeah, that was that was the extent of that controversy. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
Anything else? Not really. I think that was about it news-wise. Again, it's only been a week.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, not a lot can happen, can it?
Well, it can, but it didn't. So
okay, fair play. All right, then. Well, I'm just going to jump into free practices. Really, once again, I think more happened in these than happened in America, but not a lot. There was lots of spins. There was lots of low grip areas on this track. It was very green, and there wasn't a lot of grip going around at all.
I think I saw a Haas auto-destruct at one point.
That was amazing. That was brilliant. That was Grosjean. I think that was FP2, and within 5 minutes he'd already spun on the last corner, and he totally destroyed that set of tyres when he spun. And then he continued down the main straight to get back to the pits, and the result was his left rear almost exploding. It ripped off half the carcass. And
it kind of reminded me of that Toro Rosso, which just ejected its front wheels.
Yeah, it was. Well, you could see it because the camera shot that we had was from the rear of the Haas, and you could see the rear wing just shaking itself to pieces. And then all of a sudden, as the camera cut away, you saw the tyre go kaboom, and bits of rubber going everywhere, bits of floor going everywhere. And am I right in thinking that brought out the red flag? There was
yes, it did, yeah.
Lots of debris all over the place.
Yeah, like I said, it was scattered all over the straight there.
Yeah. Hamilton had a very similar spin on the super softs. I don't think he had many sets of the super soft, and he destroyed them. Very similar to that, not in the same place, but kind of thing. In FP1, Dornberg, or Van Dorn, as we like to know him as. He changed an engine and then changed it again because the Honda was not reliable at all.
Case surprise.
Exactly, yeah. Suit you, sir. Suit you indeed. Yeah, the Honda was not very reliable at all. Although, I'm just looking at the race results. Yeah, I won't go into them just yet.
Okay.
What else had we had? Oh, we had Celis standing in for Ocon. Alfonso Celis was the third driver this weekend.
Yeah, he was Mexican, isn't he?
Is he?
I believe so. Yes.
Oh, okay, cool. I didn't know that.
And then he spun it into the wall at one point.
Oh, he destroyed the rear of Ocon's car while he was watching as well, which once again brought out the red flag. What else do we have? FP3. Oh no, Vettel in FP2. He had to come in slowly. He'd burnt his bottom. Something burst.
The fire extinguisher.
Oh, was it the fire extinguisher?
The fire extinguisher burst, and he says it was the fire extinguisher. I just think he got a bit excited. Bit of an accident in the car. It's the vibrations, I'm sure. But yeah, so he says
it's like sitting on the washing machine.
Exactly. He said the fire extinguisher burst, and apparently he said, "Oh, it's a burning sensation." And he got out with a bit of a wet bottom.
Ah, okay. I wonder, instead of it burning, it was absolutely freezing cold then.
Probably, yeah. If it was compressed CO2 or something like that,
yeah,
it would be in its liquid state would be fucking freezing.
Yeah, he would have cracked, just like the T1000. I don't know. I forget what one that is. Gasly chucked up a load of smoke from the rear of his car and missed out on all of FP3. I think he had one lap and chucked it all out, totally destroying it, which led on to the qualifying as well, where he didn't take part in that whatsoever. There was a point in Q1 where he was sat on the bench and he was in his jeans, and then all of a sudden they decided, no, we can fix the car. And so he got into his race overalls, ready to get out in the car, and they still didn't have an engine attached to the monocoque.
Yeah.
So he was sat there going, are you guys sure you're going to fix this? And no, he didn't partake in qualifying whatsoever.
I think, I don't know, okay, maybe I'm completely misremembering this, and maybe I'm even making it up. It's entirely possible. But didn't someone once get into trouble, I want to say Kimi, for not being ready for qualifying, even though they couldn't run? They had to be kind of in the garage in their overalls or something. They couldn't be just kind of lounging around in their, well, in his case, shorts with an ice cream. Could it be something to do with that, maybe?
It rings a bell.
I'm remembering something about this at some point. It might have been a couple of years ago, but I think it was, even if you're not taking part in qualifying, you kind of have to present yourself to the stewards to do the 107% thing. I don't know. But
yeah, because you can't just rock up on race day and expect to race if you haven't taken part or
turned up for it. It might just be, because again, it's part of the spectacle, isn't it? They want to see the drivers there in their their suits and all that and ready. Again, we're idiots. We could be making this entirely up. It could have been that last batch of heroin. It was quite a doozy, but still, I definitely think that might have been something to do with it.
Yeah.
Or again, maybe he just got really excited. As it's only like his second race.
Or Gasly,
Third?
Yes,
Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
So yeah, it's just any excuse to be in it. You mean I could be in my overalls now? Yay!
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's the the Fisichella syndrome, isn't it?
Yeah.
Walking around in his Ferrari PJs.
Well, you would, wouldn't you?
Yes, definitely. I do not.
Because you're absolutely not sitting there in your Ferrari onesie right now.
I don't even know what you mean. No, I'm sitting in my Palmer onesie. Just his skin. I've de-skinned him.
Oh, that went dark really quickly.
That did, didn't it?
Yeah.
Sausages. No, you don't recognise that, do you?
No, I have no idea what you're talking about. Hello?
Trying to remember who.
You're breaking up, mate. Hello?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Hello?
There we go.
Oh, okay.
Yes. There we go. Right, let me just timestamp that. Okay, yeah, so you don't get that reference then, do you? I can't.
I suspect it's a bit before my time.
Tom Green, when he did that film, he was totally bonkers.
Oh, yeah, I know the film. No, I have taste.
Oh, okay, fair play. Yeah, it was a terrible movie, but I think he found roadkill on the side of the road and then dressed up in it. Yeah, anyway, let's move on from that.
Yes, let's rapidly move on.
Okay, the last bit of free practice, we had Hamilton and Kimi looking way off the pace.
Yes, they were not this, because we should mention that Mexico, is it the highest circuit on the calendar?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's low. It because of the high altitude. There's a lot less oxygen up there, so the engines struggle. So they're all pretty much down on power.
Yep.
And obviously, one of the strengths of a Mercedes is the engine. So it doesn't really have that.
There was I can't remember who mentioned this, but they were saying that they were running the wing levels of Monaco, but it was still getting the drag levels of Monza.
Yeah,
because of the thinness of the air here, which I knew that it would affect the engine. I didn't realise it would affect the car's aerodynamics as much as that.
Yeah, it's kind of it's one of the more fascinating parts of the whole process, and the science of it is taking things like that into account, because it would never even occur to me.
No.
But that's why I'm an idiot on a podcast with you and not designing Formula One cars or engines.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay. Right. Do we do penalties now, or do we do penalties later? I suppose we do them after qualifying.
Fuck it. I'm going to just list them off now. So when you do the rundown, we can do it all. So, we almost need that top of the pops music we used to use on Space Stop. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. So with a 20-place grid penalty, we have Daniel Ricciardo for exceeding his quota of power unit components. With a 20-place grid penalty, we have Brendan Hartley for exceeding the quota of power unit components, which I don't quite see how you can do in your second race.
Yep.
No surprise here, Fernando Alonso with a 20-place grid penalty for exceeding his quota of power unit components. In at 4, down 35 places, is Stoffel Van Dorn for exceeding his quota of power unit components.
Nice.
And finally, we have Pierre Gasly, who failed to set a 107% requirement and a 20-place grid penalty for exceeding his quota of power unit components.
Blimey, man. Okay, so qualifying then.
Yes.
Q1, not much happened. No Gasly, and Alonso was 5th at one point, so he was doing quite well. That was the surprise of qualifying, I thought.
Well, that was Alonso effectively sticking 2 fingers up to Honda.
Yep. Well, yeah, because where everyone else is reduced, I suppose Honda wouldn't be as reduced as much, because they're kind of shit anyway.
It's a much more level playing field.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So they were saying that was the best chassis around that track at that time. There was lots of people saying that.
They've got to be careful with this, because next year it's going to be a lot harder to hide behind the engine. They still be able to, but again, now you're directly comparing your chassis with what is still arguably the best chassis, the Red Bull.
Yeah.
And you've got the same power unit. I don't care what you label it, Christian. It's still a Renault.
It is, yes.
Yeah. If you peel off the Tag Heuer sticker, still a Renault badge underneath there.
That's right, yeah. Yeah, no matter how much he doth protest.
Yes. All the people running around the back of your garage making sure the engine works, they've got Renault written on their shirts.
They're all dressed in yellow and black, aren't they?
Yep.
Okay,
and also, when it goes wrong, you don't ever blame the Tag Heuer engine.
No, Tag have never done anything wrong in their lives. Never.
Yep.
In this session, Q1, we lost Gasly, because he wasn't even in it. And then we lost Grosjean, Magnussen, Verline, and Ericsson. Interestingly, the Hasses were the slowest.
Yes, they were.
I'm surprised at that, because they've got a better engine than the Saubers.
Yeah, they've got the they got this year's engine in there.
They have, yeah.
Sauber are using last year's one.
Yeah. That just tickled my fancy. That was very strange to see.
Oh, do you like your fancy getting tickled?
I would not say no. Anyway, Q2. What do we have?
We had at least 3 people who didn't bother setting a time.
Oh, yeah, Van Dorn and Alonso didn't even come out, did they?
No.
Hartley had a loss of power. Double yellows after Verstappen. Oh, the double yellows were waved, weren't they?
Yes. Well, when Hartley broke down effectively, they were double waving them.
That's right. And then Verstappen set his second lap. It was a 1:16.524. And Stroll was looking very, very ragged out on track as well. Everyone's second run was really slow, so nearly everyone didn't set a faster time. So we lost Van Dorn, Alonso, Hartley, Stroll, and Massa. So another, 2x2 really, isn't it?
Pretty much.
Yeah. And Q3 was fascinating, I felt. Because Max Verstappen, he topped the times in Q2, and he was he was looking on it. Daniel Ricciardo wasn't looking there. Hamilton was looking ragged as well. He looked like he wouldn't be able to pull out. And Kimi Räikkönen, I'm sure he didn't even get off the plane to turn up on this race. He just didn't turn up whatsoever until actual race day. And even then, it was a bit of a half-hearted attempt, really.
Yeah, you'd think, who knows what goes on inside that head of his.
Yeah. But Verstappen, what did he do on his first run? He did something on his first one. Did he flat spot his tyres? I'm sure he flat spotted his tyres on his first run. Kimi Räikkönen and Ricciardo looking slow. Bottas may have had his lap ruined by Max. There was a situation where Max was poodling into the stadium complex and Bottas was on a hot lap. He came round the corner and found an almost stationary Red Bull in front of him and had to jinx to the right-hand side and then onto the left to get round the corner. And there was a lot of people saying, and I think Toto Wolff was saying, that his lap may have been compromised on that. I think it may have been slightly compromised, but not to the point where, oh no, Bottas lost out on pole position. But, I don't know.
Well, someone pointed out after last week, if someone had given him Verstappen a penalty for that and taken away the pole position, the table flip that would have ensued would have probably just another earthquake, civil war in Mexico, cats and dogs living together.
Yeah, I'm all of favour for removing all of these blocking penalties on either practices or qualifyings. Because everyone seems to be slowing down and gapping a place. So why not? Why do you have to gap that place? Why can't you judge it halfway around the circuit so you have got that gap already? And
well, I mean, this is why a few years ago they tried doing the whole 1-by-1 thing, which was bollocks.
Yes.
And God, I hated that so much. So yeah, I just. I don't know.
You're in a competitive environment, and so you've got to work out the best strategy to get the best lap. Now, if that means gapping and screwing someone else's lap up, then if they nip round you, tough. It would just encourage people to put their foot down a bit more, or judge it better, instead of getting into the last corner and then flooring it.
Well, it kind of comes back to what we were saying last time out about how they're designing these cars. They're running these laps in isolation as if it was an ideal circumstance where they're out there on their own. And it's like, well, you're not. You're sharing this with, by that point, 10 other cars, but, typically 20. You kind of need to take it into account.
Yeah. And if you can't make room with only half a grid on a circuit that's 3 kilometres long, then, you're doing something wrong, I think. I think they should be able to judge it. They should be able to judge it better than what they are doing anyway. Anyway, I'm going to get into the results. Sebastian Vettel somehow, from nowhere whatsoever, got a stonking lap in and got pole position. Max Verstappen was sitting on pole for quite some time until the very last seconds.
Yeah.
So he ended up second. Lewis Hamilton came from nowhere and got third. Valtteri Bottas ended up fourth. Kimi Räikkönen fifth. Esteban Ocon sixth. Daniel Ricciardo 7th, very lonely out there. Nico Hülkenberg 8th, Carlos Sainz 9th, and Sergio Perez, home favourite, in 10th position.
I will just qualify, just for those keeping score, Daniel Ricciardo didn't start 7th.
No.
Because obviously he had a 20-place penalty. So as you all know, if you have 7 and you add 20, you get 16.
Yeah, that's because...
it's because it makes no sense, that's why.
It kind of does, and yet still doesn't. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't get it. Anyway, okay. Let's talk about the race, because that was far more interesting than the actual qualifying, I felt.
It was, yes.
Where do you want to go with the race, then? Where do you want to go? Because there's tons.
I think we should start at the beginning.
Okay.
Master Baggins.
So we had Vettel on pole position.
Yes.
Max Verstappen.
Wait. So before we start,
yeah,
just because I'm sure everyone out there wants to know, Did they have fancy intros this time?
No, they didn't.
Oh.
No. They had the parade around the track, people waving to the crowd, etc. That's about it.
Ah.
Yeah.
I wanted some sort of more cultural, like Mexican wrestling introductions.
Oh, everyone comes in with face masks on.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Nacho Libre. I can't remember what that is.
Yes, like that.
Okay. Oh, yeah, I could get behind that a little bit. Definitely get behind that a little bit. Bottas and Kimi Räikkönen against each other. Finns fighting. There's a film if ever I saw one.
The Fighting Finns, yes.
Yeah. So no, there was no Americanized intros. Once again, I'm quite happy for that to be the American Grand Prix intro. Let's leave it at that, though. I feel.
Yes.
So the race, we had Sebastian Vettel and Max Verstappen on the front row of the grid. Last time that happened, something happened. I can't quite put my finger on what happened. Oh, that's right. Singapore happened, didn't it? And they didn't make it into turn 2.
Well, in all fairness, they made it through turn 2 this time.
They
mostly.
Did. Yeah, but there was still bits flying, wasn't there?
Well, yeah, there was some bits, and then finally more bits, and then don't quite know how they managed to do that because it's a big old circuit. You can get 3 cars across there.
It is, yes. Well, okay. So for people that haven't watched the Grand Prix, okay. Number one,
why are you listening? Yeah, why are you listening to this?
Yeah, go watch it. Don't listen to us. Go watch it.
Maybe they just like to listen to our voice.
I doubt it very much.
It's terrifying, I thought, isn't it?
So everyone got away quite well. Sebastian got away in the lead, but he seemed more worried about Max Verstappen than anyone else, and he covered him off. Max got into the tow. Lewis got into the tow of Max as well, and thus everyone else was cutting through the air. I think Kimi Räikkönen got left behind because of the tow. I don't think he managed to pick one up. And going into turn 1, we had Max going around the outside of Vettel, and they bumped.
Vettel? Is that like
Vettel,
a toy manufacturer?
I'm just trying to cover lots of bases.
Okay, just checking.
Vettel. And they bumped uglies, as you would expect them to do. I know you said, and other people have said, that Vettel's scared of Max.
Yes.
And I think this qualifies it, doesn't it? I think he is. He's petrified of him. He's worried of him. If you apply pressure to Sebastian, then he starts to crack.
He does fold faster than Superman on laundry day.
Okay. I don't know where that came from.
The 1980s, I think.
Yeah, I think so, with nicotine. Wow. Flipping out. We're all over the place today, crying out loud.
It's been one of those weeks.
It has, yes. So, they bumped uglies into the first corner. Max didn't... He was still on the track. He still had 2 wheels on the track, so he's well entitled to be there and to take the second corner. But it has kind of become
it's become a running joke where he just keeps saying, "I kept 2 wheels on the circuit."
Yeah, that's the way he plays now, isn't it? If them's the rules, then he's going to stick with them. And well, there was a lot of talk about track limits as well after the shenanigans of the United States as well. So I think as long as he keeps 2 wheels on the track, then that's fine. They are the rules, so if he sticks to it, then there's no problems, I don't think. But they bumped wheels. There was a bit of tyre smoke coming out of that, and as Max beat Vettel into turn 2, going into turn 3, he kind of ran over his front wing. Or did Vettel not give him enough room?
I don't think Vettel gave him enough room, personally.
Yeah.
It was, it's one of those things where, Lewis is right up against it. If he goes any further, he's off the track. And Vettel has the entire other side of the race circuit to himself.
Yeah.
And no cars there. But I don't think it was deliberate. I think because he'd clipped Max, he'd lost front downforce and he just effectively understeered right to the scene of the accident.
Yeah. Was that when he attacked or tried to take a bite out of Lewis Hamilton's car?
Yes.
Okay. So you think he understeered into him?
Well, yeah, because he'd already lost a bit of a front wing from Verstappen.
Mm-hmm.
And then, going through that corner, again, I'd have to go and double check the onboard, but I'm reasonably certain he had it full over. And the car was still going out.
Yeah, I don't know. Initial impressions, when I first saw it happen, I jumped up and no, Vettel rammed into him.
You thought it was deliberate, did you?
I did, yeah. I honestly did. Looking on the onboard, I can give it to him just that he may have understeered or something else was going on. He was soaring at that steering wheel. He was working bloody hard on that. But there's just something that niggles at me that he had pressure applied to him, and he decided, do you know what? If he's going to get past me, I'm going to take him out. Now, am I wrong in thinking that at all?
Well, I would just point out that Vettel has far more to lose in this situation than Lewis does. Lewis can afford to not finish could have afforded to not finish the next two races and still come back and finish second and won the championship.
Yeah.
Whereas Sebastian had to win or at a very minimum had to be second. And Lewis had to be, fifth or worse.
Yeah.
Now, yeah, if you're going to try and take the guy out, that's what Kimi Räikkönen is there for, basically. You don't use your own car as the battering ram.
Right. Okay, but what about in like a split-second decision? Oh, he's in front of me. Got to get him out. That's what I'm thinking.
Well, I mean, unfortunately, Vettel does have a bit of form here, with the whole kind of hot-headed losing his temper.
Yeah.
But I don't see it, to be honest. I don't. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt, and just assume that's not what he's going to have done.
Right. I don't know. I think there's a little bit more to it than that. I honestly think. I reckon these teams have lots of plan Bs, plan Cs, and plan Ds as to what's going to happen in the first lap and halfway through. They all expected to possibly have a safety car as well. So my thinking from him is, shit, Lewis is in front of me. Got to take him out somehow. Rams him, and then he said, I think he knows the Ferrari is going to be better in traffic than the Mercedes. And I think we've seen that through the season, that it is a better car cutting through the traffic.
Yeah.
Now, with that in mind, and maybe a possible safety car coming up, he would have it in his mind, okay, I've got better odds of getting on the podium than Hamilton. And I think you'd have to give him that as well. Now, I'm not saying he definitely did ram into the back of him, because anything can happen. He could have ridden over his right rear tyre and totally destroyed the front of his car. Anything could happen, really, but there's just a little niggling bit of doubt in my mind that he did this on purpose, which saddens me a little bit.
I think that's just more down to, it's something we perhaps think he could be capable of.
Mm.
And, okay, maybe that's a more damning indictment of Vettel than if he actually did it, the fact that we think he's capable of doing it. I do not think that he... I just don't think that even entered into the equation there. In fact, you know what I'm going to do? Because, again, I know I've mentioned this many times, but the Formula One YouTube channel now has videos. It's amazing. Yeah, so fuck you, Bernie. So I'm just watching the first corner again here. And I'm just seeing, they're literally three abreast coming up to turn one. And there's the first collision. We go into turn three. No, I don't even think Vettel's looking at Hamilton when it happens.
Okay.
I'm just, 1 second, just watching it through one more time. I know this is great. This is great audio.
No, you go for it, mate. Go for it.
Now, it honestly, it looks like he's sawing away at the wheel. Mm. I think the initial contact, in fact, I'll send it to you so you can join in. Not you people
it,
at home.
Got it
Screw
playing
you,
on my
losers.
TV right now.
All right. Well, I've just sent you the thing. It's about 22 seconds in. And yeah, he only looks over to Hamilton after the collision, probably thinking, "What is he doing there? I am want to be driving here. Oh, he's hit me. Oh no!" But yeah, it's because I'll guarantee you that what was going through his head. But I don't think the collision itself was in any way deliberate.
Yeah. So how lucky was Max Verstappen then not to get a puncture on that then?
Oh, exceedingly lucky. I mean, but that's the thing we've seen on occasions. You tag someone the wrong way, it's just going to, make a mess of it. But you tag them the right way, you can got through. I mean, we've seen a couple of instances, this year where, cars have had big hits wheel to wheel and just gotten away with it fine. And then in other ones, again like this, it's you just tag it the wrong way. I mean, I don't think if he didn't have that first collision with Max, and he just tagged Hamilton, the tyre would probably be okay, because I expect that first collision broke the carbon into sharper shards on the end of it, and that's what shredded the tyre.
Oh, see, yeah, okay, fine.
Also, we should also mention that Hamilton had diffuser damage as well, so it wasn't just the rear wing.
No, I think that was when the Sebastian's wing went into the back of his diffuser, ripped off a piece there, didn't it? Yeah.
Actually, you know what? I'm just watching the onboard from Sebastian here. So he's gone around, full lock, goes back the other way. Oh, he does turn a little bit. He is fighting. I still don't think he did it deliberately, but he could have avoided it. That was entirely on Vettel.
Yeah, it was.
I don't think it was deliberate, but it was his fault. But again, they don't tend to punish first lap collisions. So.
No, well, maybe he would have been better off letting Max go in the first corner, then having an attack down the back straight on him, and then
Are you asking Captain Ahab to let Moby Dick go? Because that's what you're asking there.
He needs second. He needed second. He needed second, yeah.
Yes.
He does no more.
He does not, no. I was going to ask that. Do we have to turn up for the next two races now? Can we take the weeks off?
Well, I was going to ask you the same thing. No, I'm still turning up. I'll still be watching them. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, me too, yeah.
So we lost Danny Rick.
Ah, yeah.
He didn't last long, did he? How many laps did he do? 5?
The great irony is, one of the reasons he took the penalty was to replace a turbo they thought was going to fail. And the turbo they replaced it with failed.
Jesus.
So they replaced one they thought would fail with one that did fail. It's like Final Destination, isn't it?
It is, yeah. So he could possibly take another grid penalty next race out unless they can grab all the bits together and put one together.
Well, the other one didn't fail. They just thought it would fail.
Yeah.
But, who knows?
It seems like the luck has changed at Red Bull, doesn't it?
Maybe. I do feel that Daniel's probably feeling a little unloved.
Yeah.
He definitely seems to be kind of... everyone is, looking to build the team around Verstappen. I think a lot of that's, what's his name, Marco's doing. Because, he's one of his drivers there, which I again, it ain't Verstappen sitting fourth in the Drivers' Championship. So, we'll see. I mean, it's always the question of where would Ricciardo go. We had this chat last week, though, didn't we?
We did, yeah, we did. But, right, Max, he's got that Schumacher-esque feel about him.
Oh, he's got the Schumacher-esque arrogance down, I'll tell you that. See, this is one of the things I always hated about Red Bull. When they were winning was the fucking arrogance of it. Now, okay, Mercedes has dominated for the last, 4 years?
Yep.
But say what you will, I've never felt they've been bragging or arrogant about it. Toto Wolff and Niki Lauda have always been incredibly humble about it. Incredibly grounded, very much, we can't take this for granted. These others have done a good fight. And I've always respected that.
Yeah.
This time, you got Christian Horner saying, oh, well, Max Verstappen, he was so dominant, he was getting bored.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. You've got a short memory, Christian. You've got a short fucking memory. As we've already established, Verstappen will never win another race in Formula One because they've gotten rid of Danny Kvyat, so...
Yeah, I suppose when Red Bull were in the midst of winning 4 championships, then they could do no wrong, really, could they?
Yeah, but they would never let you forget about it.
No, that's right.
Remember how they play the obnoxious music at full pelt? And there's nothing wrong with the music when you're winning, but it was always like the most obnoxious stuff they could find and just drown out everything on the pit lane.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah.
Yeah, chests out, we're one, very much. Tons of bravado.
Losers!
Yeah. It's like, might as well be doing that, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've never really felt that from Mercedes. Sometimes with Niki Lauda, he comes out, but I think that's more his personality of just turning around and saying, yeah, he's the best. What do you expect? But I think that's Niki.
Yeah. But okay, it's a different corporate culture, Mercedes, it's a corporation, whereas Red Bull want to be that young and brash thing. But yeah, look, Red Bull, it's unattractive to see in a sports team. We don't like it, You're turning us off. That's what I'm saying.
Red Bull are the snowboarders of the Formula One paddock.
Quite literally.
Yeah. Yeah, and when they win, they win, dude. They win. When they'd lose, oh no, totally heinous. What the fuck? Anyway, okay, so Danny Rick was out after 5 laps. It was disappointing to see him break down, but nothing more can be said about him. I feel sorry for him. I want him to do well in the last 2 races. I'd love Red Bulls just to go at it, tooth and nail, just to try and square up who's going to be number 1 next season. I think we all know who's going to be number 1 next season, but yeah, get the elbows out.
Although he has already said he will not suffer number 2 status.
Who? Danny?
Yeah.
Right. Well, he might have to suffer it for a year.
He might do. I mean, I suppose it kind of depends on what's in the contracts.
Yeah. Okay.
You'd think Red Bull would have fucking learnt.
Well, yeah, they should have this sorted out by now, surely.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on to other bits of the race. What did we have? We had Grosjean and Alonso battling away, bumping into each other.
Mm-hmm.
Massa and Vettel had a little ding-dong. Massa was holding up Vettel. From what I can hear, the German commentators were very disgruntled with Vettel not being allowed through past everyone else that was in front of him. He should have just had a red carpet laid out in front of him and said, no, please, follow through. So...
Yeah. Were they trying to get onto the Williams radio channel and say, Sebastian is faster than you?
I'm sure there's
see if that kind of, genetically encoded memory would make him pull over.
Yeah. Well, Massa and Vettel, there was a point where Vettel went around the outside of Massa and was pushed off the track. I thought that was fair and square. He was way ahead of him going into that corner. And Massa just was like, he understeered into him as well, to be fair. Mm-hmm. So it was a case of Vettel dodging a collision. But there was question marks on whether Vettel should give that place back. But looking at the replay of it, Massa was out of control going into the side of him. So really, he's got to avoid that situation. So... But it was good to see him fighting and working his way up. And once again, the Ferrari looked better going through the traffic than the Mercedes, because I don't think we said it. Lewis Hamilton had to stop for a new tyre. He had a puncture. Vettel stopped for a new front wing, and they had to work their way up.
Lewis had to limp all the way around with that puncture as well. And you have to do it slowly, because if you try to go too quickly, you end up destroying the floor of your car.
Yeah.
So I think by the time Lewis got out, he was, I think, 20 seconds behind Vettel.
Yes, he was, yeah, at least.
Yeah, so.
And then some.
Mm-hmm.
Lap 22, something happened. I noted it down in my little notebook. Hamilton.
Did you know what happened?
I did know what happened. Hamilton got lapped.
Yes.
Hamilton got lapped by Max Verstappen. Max was on it. There was no one that was going to beat him. He was on it. He had so much pace, and I felt that he could have gone faster at stages as well. Mm-hmm. Where I think even Christian Horner tried to slow him down and just couldn't slow him down whatsoever. It was just it was easier for him to go fast than to go slow.
Yeah, but obviously you've got to be careful with the old engines going pop.
Well,
pop
yeah,
goes the Renault.
We did have a couple of them go, didn't we?
Well, hang about. We had 1, 2, 3 Renaults went. 1 Ferrari, which was a Sauber Ferrari.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Something wasn't working too well.
No, and there was lots of worriment on the Red Bull garage about Max Verstappen, especially when he's putting in hot laps as well. He was in a class of his own. He really was.
Oh, yeah.
Who brought out the virtual safety car? It was Hartley, wasn't it?
Yes, because his engine went pop.
Yeah, in quite spectacular fashion as well. We had Gasly do a good move on Grosjean. At the same time, we were on board with him as well. And we could see Hartley's engine blowing up in the fair distance. We kept going through big clouds of blue smoke. And yeah, poor old Hartley doesn't make it through. So hang on. So he had... What did he have? He had a 20-place grid penalty for power units as well. So flipping hell, man. The Renaults weren't doing very well at all, were they?
No, they weren't. But I think they acknowledged it was something. It's the altitude, effectively.
Yeah.
Just messing with the I think it was mostly the turbos that was going.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, not what you want to see. I'm sure McLaren were clenching a little when they saw all that. Yeah,
definitely.
But that being said, it is these days the exception rather than the rule with the Renault engines.
I just feel it would have been so gutting to have Max Verstappen blow up. So I'm sure there would have been a few Ferrari fans and Vettel fans that wanted him to blow up.
Yes.
But there was the gap was far too great for him to make any headway into anyone, really. He was way too far off the pace and too far down the track after turn one.
He was so far behind Kimi that he couldn't even do a place swap. And then, as was pointed out on the radio, Bottas has P2. Now that's an interesting question. I'm not saying they would do anything dodgy, but you'd have to be very careful trying to get around a Mercedes if you need to take second place.
What are you saying? What are you suggesting?
I'm not saying nothing. I'm just saying someone might have been a bit clumsy when it came to overtaking, and he certainly wouldn't want to do that.
Yeah. Okay. Under the virtual safety car, everyone pitted because it's an easy pit, isn't it?
It's effectively a 3-1, isn't it?
Yeah, and not a lot really happened until lap 66, where Hamilton and Alonso had a nice little ding dong. That was brilliant.
Oh, that was awesome. That. Yes, please be good next year, McLaren, please.
Right, okay. Do you want to talk us through this then? What happened with these two?
Well, when was it? It was lap 66. 66 they came up, and I mean, Lewis hasn't had the best of times getting through traffic. His pace it was all right, but it wasn't spectacular. But I think a lot of that was put down to his damaged diffuser, and just generally, it's a hard circuit to overtake at the best of times. I'm going to stop saying that. These cars are hard to overtake because they're shit designs.
Yes.
But still, he got up to the McLaren, and the McLaren, I think, was in P10.
Yeah, he was. This was for point, wasn't it? The last remaining point.
It was for point, but I mean, Alonso finished in the points, so
maybe it was for 9.
It was P9. It was P9. Yeah, he was P9. So he came up to Alonso, and he tried to go around turn 1 again, but Alonso was just like, nope, not happening. I'm old school. I know these tricks. So he forced him to back out of it, and he had to settle back a little bit. Down the next straight again, Alonso just covered it off. He then made a bit of a mess during the fiddly slow corners that followed there. Mm-hmm. And you got Magnussen was further up the road, so he got a bit of a break out of that. I think it effectively came down to DRS, was it?
Yeah, it was DRS. Hamilton got him.
69, yeah.
Hamilton got him, and then went round. I think he caught Alonso by surprise. He went round the outside of him, and just Alonso wanted to pin him against the wall, but couldn't.
Yeah, it was turn 4. He did it.
Yeah,
but I'll tell you what, Alonso came back straight away. Had a look, but he wasn't going to do it. I mean, you got to say, if a McLaren had a decent engine, that would have been a harder thing. And Alonso did make the comment afterwards that Lewis has kind of had it too easy this year. Don't know if I fully agree with that, but I will say I think by and large, a lot of Mercedes' woes were kind of self-inflicted more than anything else. But yeah, that was that, and it was just like, oh, please next year, please be good, please be good.
Yeah, we're all hoping that, aren't we?
Oh yeah.
So, anything else happened during that race? Or I think that was it, really, wasn't it?
That was about it. I mean, I know it may not have sounded it from our descriptions, but it was pretty damn exciting. We did have some bits. I don't know if Lewis sounded panicked, but he was asking, "Where's Vettel? Can he win?" And they were saying, "Nope, he can't. He needs second, and Bottas is second." So I was just like, nah,
Did you hear the Ferrari mechanic or Vettel when he was on the radio?
Yeah.
He went, so, how far is Kimi in front of me? And he went, 22 seconds or 23 seconds. He went, sorry, what? What? How far? 23 seconds. He went, ay.
Now, what was, there was a radio message and Sebastian was going on about something, and the guy was saying, Sebastian, focus. And he goes, I am focused. I'm just complaining.
Who is he up against? It was Massa. I think it was Massa.
Wasn't it? Yeah. He goes, what is this crazy? They drive, expecting us to go around and drive off the road. And the guys go, shut up and drive. Shut up. He goes, I am focused. I'm just...
Sebastian, focus. Keep focus. Sebastian, focus. I am focused.
Put down the war and peace, Sebastian.
I love that sound of that guy.
Yeah.
He's engineer. It's just, yes, monotone and very diplomatic. Just stick to the plan. We know what we're doing. You're still going to lose, but we know what we're doing. But I suppose the highlights of this race for me are watching Vettel battle through and Hamilton working his way through as well. He seemed to really struggle, but you said that there was diffuser damage as well on that car, so he was hindered. He had one arm tied behind his back, and he had 20 seconds to make up anyway. So it was. He also had that massive lead of if he doesn't get this done this race, he's still got another 2 races to get this done. So he's really got no worries whatsoever. It might be a bit of a downer not to get it done now, but Sebastian had to get this done, and it just he did everything in his power to get it done, and yet still had miles to go as well. And
yeah. I mean, I want to take back what I said earlier. This isn't the worst way he could have won the championship. He could have DNF'd and still won if Vettel hadn't finished second. That would have been the worst.
Yeah, that would not have been great, would it?
No.
That would not. What do you think of Hamilton's donuts at the end?
I always like that when I see that. I also kind of liked, Vettel and him driving in formation on the slowdown. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I was worried at one point when he pulled out the Union flag and he started waving it was going to get sucked into the airbox.
One day, man. One day that's going to happen.
Yeah. I also thought as he undid his seatbelt and was leaning out of a car, I said, Charlie's not going to like that. You're going to have Roman complaining next week.
Yeah. No, Charlie does mind. Yeah, it is just Roman Grosjean, isn't it?
Did you watch it again, the driver's briefing this week?
Was there one this week? I didn't.
Yeah. I really don't know everything now. But it's Grosjean again. He's a fucking stirrer, he is.
What's he moaning about now?
I can't remember what it was, but I just know he said something or, something. And it's just like, yeah, it's always Grosjean. He's that kid in class, he's like, I'm not saying this is anything, but I saw so-and-so was doing something over there and I think you should do something, Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you talking about the flags and the airbox. It's going to happen one day, isn't it? Someone's going to be driving along and you could just see poof, a flag being thrown out the exhaust. You're like, oh, Jesus. Screwed up an engine. It's going to happen one day. I'm looking forward to it. It's probably going to happen to one of my favourite drivers at the time that doesn't need an engine change. But, yeah. Hamilton doing donuts. I bet his team were cringing. I know they've won both championships, but they still want as many points as they can get.
I was going to ask you something, right?
Mm.
So McLaren has now won. Mercedes have won both of the championships.
Yeah.
And I think Bottas can't catch third place now, can he?
Bottas is in third. He can still get second.
Can he get second? Still, should it be that Lewis doesn't take part in the next ones now? Should it be once you've won the championship? That's it. You're done now. You're good.
Oh no, because it's a team effort, and he still needs to get points for his team.
Well, he's already got them. He's won everything for the team, though.
But you can't penalise the winners by removing one of their players.
But they've won.
They have won, but there's more to win. There's more points to get. But
he can't help Bottas win outside of, again, leaving the, doing a place or something like that. I'm not saying I support this. I'm just saying, is this something that you would consider? Or is this something a thing to explore? Once you won, that's it. Off your trot. You're done. You go and
No, because if it was that, then they'll drag it out somehow to the end race.
Good.
Manufactured to the end race? I don't know. I don't like that.
I don't want manufactured. I don't want manufactured. Yeah, but I know what you're saying.
That's tyre managing the whole season. Surely, I don't like that.
Fair point.
If they want to win it 3 races before the end, brilliant. That's fine by me. I've got no problems with that whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
But okay, on that subject, because Bottas is he's less than 10 points. Hang on, what's he on? He's on 262. Sebastian's on 277. He's, mathematically he can get second. Do you think that he will get second by the end of the season?
I kind of hope he does.
I don't think he deserves second, really.
He's had a bit of an off, but yeah, I agree. He might not deserve it. But since when has one deserving something ever had anything to do with Formula One?
Oh, that's true. Yeah, absolutely true. If it was about deserving, then the world crown would be passed around, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So, okay. Right, so at the end of the race, we had Max Verstappen winning his third race. Very dominant. Nobody could touch him. I think Bottas, he ended up nearly 20 seconds behind him. I don't think he got anywhere closer than 6 seconds throughout the whole race. There was just no way he was going to touch him. Kimi Räikkönen, from somewhere, ended up third.
Yeah.
And 54 seconds off the pace. 54 seconds off the pace. Sebastian Vettel ended up fourth. Esteban Ocon, who had a brilliant race, I thought he was on course for a podium at one point. I know he was up to third at one point and looking good.
Mm.
But it didn't quite happen for him. He ended up fifth. Lance Stroll, he was also in third position. He was quietly working his way up. He started, hang on, let me just work out where Stroll started. He started 11th, ended up 6th. So he had a pretty good race as well.
Oh, yes.
Sergio Perez ended up 7th. Kevin Magnussen somehow ended up 8th. Lewis Hamilton ended up 9th. And Fernando Alonso got the last point in 10th position. So, who else did we lose? We lost both Renaults. Hulkenberg had a power unit and Carlos Sainz had steering problems. Lost Marcus Ericsson with an engine. Brandon Hartley with an engine and Daniel Ricciardo with a turbo. So there we go.
Yes.
Right, okay, so points position. Lewis Hamilton is now world champion, 4 times world champion. So little golf clap. Congratulations to him.
Yes.
Now, next race will be the very first race where we have 2 4 times world champions on the grid.
Wow.
Yeah. Never in the history have we had 2 4 times world champions on the grid. That's good. I like that. That's tasty. That's really setting things up, I think.
We've spoken about the T word.
Oh, come on, man. It's been like 3 weeks since that, hasn't it?
Fair enough.
Okay, so Lewis Hamilton is world champion. He's got 333 points. Sebastian Vettel is in second position with 277 points. Valtteri Bottas has got 262 points. In fourth position is Daniel Ricciardo with 192 points. And Kimi Räikkönen is in fifth position with 178 points. Do you want to do the constructors?
I will do the constructors. Fuck it, I'll do it in reverse order. The constructors champions, because they cannot be reached, with 595 points, is Mercedes. Second with 454 points is Ferrari. Third with 340 points is Red Bull. And fourth with 175 points are Force India. None of those positions are going to change. There's not enough points left on the table to do it. Mm-hmm. I do think, though, Renault and maybe Toro Rosso have a chance of catching Williams in fifth because they only have 76 points.
How many points do Renault have at the moment?
I do not know, but if you bear with me for 2 seconds while man looks up thing on internet.
Please do.
Okay. So Williams have 76. Toro Rosso have 53. Renault have 48.
Oh, okay.
So I think Renault's an outside, but, again, Toro Rosso potentially.
I think there's more chance of Renault getting Toro Rosso than Toro Rosso getting Williams.
Yes, definitely. Especially now they have 2 drivers capable of scoring points.
That's right, yeah.
Haas are only 1 point behind Renault, though. But I don't see Haas scoring many more points.
Yep. Okay.
McLaren are 9th with 24 points. Can they turn around 20-odd points between now and the end of the season? I doubt it.
Yeah, I think that's a bit of a long shot, really.
Yeah. But at least they're not plumb last.
No.
That would be Sauber with 5 points.
Hey, they got points.
Yes, everyone's got points.
That's good. They got points. Okay. One other thing. Lewis Hamilton running down the track to get back to the pits. What did you think of that?
It was kind of cool. I don't think it was as cool as when Button did it at Monaco.
Oh, no, definitely not, no. No, that was an image, wasn't it?
That was just kind of cool and unexpected. That was fun, yeah.
Yeah. No, I get the feeling that Lewis Hamilton wanted to go celebrate with his team, which is fine, but also with his family. And yet his mum was
there as well, yeah.
Well, his mum was nearer to the podium than she was to the garage. So I reckon he ran all the way down there. I was like, oh, Mum. Anyway, that tickled me. Right, so predictions. What we had last time out. Do you remember what you had last time out?
I know what I had for Perez because I was... I do. I know that I had Perez coming 7th and Hartley coming ahead of Gasly because as soon as Hartley's thing went boom, I was begging for Gasly's to blow up as well.
Okay, right. Well, qualifying. you went for Hamilton, I went for Vettel, so I get a point for that.
Yay!
In the race, you went for Hamilton, I went for Vettel. Neither of us got that. It was Verstappen, so neither of us got points there. Perez, and the third column was where would Perez finish? And we needed this on the money to get the point.
None of this nearest to pin bollocks.
No.
Had to hit.
No, which was disappointing because he was running in fifth for a long time.
He really was.
And I was sat there going, shit, man, I'm going to get another point. This is fucking amazing. But no, he ended up seventh. I was begging that he would get Lance Stroll at the end, but he didn't. So, yeah, you get a point for that. Congratulations. Nice one. And the Toro Rossos, we wanted the lead Toro Rosso. Now, I don't think Gasly did actually make it to the end, didn't he? Or did he?
I believe he did. Let me just double check.
I don't think he did.
Really? All right, hang about.
Something about it. I don't think he did.
Gasly is...
He's classified 13th.
It's 70 laps, so he was only one lap down. And Pascal, I think he did. But he's classified at the end of the day. So
okay. Anyway, so we wanted the lead Toro Rosso. I went for Gasly. You went for Hartley. I get the point for that because I'm the best. There we go.
And what is the current tally? Just out of interest.
Yeah, going.
Just to reinforce that previous statement.
Well, I get 2 points for this weekend. That brings my total up to 18.
And I got 1 point this week.
Point, which brings your
and
total
that brings me up to
24.
Now, I'm not some big, silly, fancy lawyer, but I do believe 24 is more than the number you had.
I do declare. I do declare it is, yes.
Okay.
So, well done on you, mate. Well done.
Oh, thank you. Still everything to play for. 2 to go.
2 to go.
It's not really.
Well, you never know. I have a cunning plan.
Do you?
Yes.
Oh. So it's always dangerous.
Yeah. So next time out is Brazilian Grand Prix in 2 weeks' time, isn't it?
It is indeed. Would you like some stats?
I want to know what you think of the Brazilian Grand Prix before you give us some stats.
I think I like it. I think I've liked it in the past, but I think the last really good race we had here was maybe 2009.
Okay. Not even last year's.
What was last year's? Last year's...
It was weather affected. The year before was terrible, where it was just judged on a pit stop.
Yeah, that was terrible. And 2007 was good as well, where we were like, will Lewis win? No, 2007, when Kimi won the championship here. 2008, where, Massa 40'd won until, was it Timo Glock?
Yes, it was, yeah.
Started going slowly and Hamilton managed to pick him there.
Yep.
And then
Vettel was spinning round at one point as well.
Yeah. So yeah, it's it generally there's been entertaining races, but I seem to always remember that when I'm watching the race itself, I'm not overly entertained. It's when I'm looking back, I'm more so than when I'm watching it. Although this has given us some of the most entertaining Fernando Alonso moments of recent years.
Okay, such as?
Well, there was Fernando Alonso on the deck chair.
That yes, yeah.
And there was Fernando Alonso, the TV cameraman. That was here.
Okay, I'm thinking of a third column already.
I was thinking of a third column too.
Okay. One, not amusing, but one vivid memory I have of Fernando Alonso is after Mark Webber had his crash in the Jaguar and spewed tyres all over the track. And then Fernando Alonso came hurtling round and destroyed the front of his car, and then it ended up spewing into the walls. And it was a red flag then. So,
I remember that. It was Mark Webber was in the Williams, I believe.
Yep.
93. It wasn't 93.
No, 93 was an amazing race as well.
Oh yeah, yes.
We had a massive crash with Berger and Michael Andretti at the very start of the race. Then it pissed down with rain. And do you know what? People put monsoon tyres on.
Don't have those anymore.
No, we don't. No. So, personally, I love this track. It's proper old school. Love it to pieces. I think I'm the same on you in Rose Tinted Specs work with this track a lot more than other tracks, but
yeah,
there's a lot of history here.
I remember Senna finishing it in 6th gear.
Mm-hmm.
I think Schumacher had a gearbox failure here as well, didn't he?
No,
that was somewhere else.
That was
somewhere
Spain.
Else. Yeah. Yes, it was Jerez. Or Valencia.
No, he had the gearbox problem in, when was it, 95? And
you realised there was a good chance people listening to this weren't even born then.
Yes. Oh, yeah, I know that. Don't worry. He had a gearbox problem in 95 or 96, somewhere like that. And no, it wasn't 96 because Schumacher went on to win it in the Ferrari. 95, and he stayed in 5th gear, changed his lines into the corners, and ended up coming second, I think it was. It was a brilliant, brilliant race for him. Anyway, so Brazil. Yes. So, predictions for this one then. Oh, no. Well, go on, give us some stats first.
Give you some stats, shall we? So last year, pole position was Lewis Hamilton. Fastest lap was Max Verstappen. And the podium was Hamilton from Rosberg from Verstappen. Historically, the most wins here was Alan Prost. And then you had 4 wins with Schumacher and Carlos Reutemann. And then 2 wins from such illustrious alumni as Vettel and Massa.
Right, okay.
So, yeah. I guess Lewis has only won here once, hasn't he? Yeah. Rosberg won twice. Vettel once. Button once.
Mm-hmm.
Webber once. Okay, so yes, there you go.
Cool.
Wait, hang on. Vettel won... Yeah, just twice, yeah. Okay. So, yes.
So I'm behind still at the moment,
yes.
So I need to catch up. So I'm going first again.
Yes.
So qualifying. I'm going to go Verstappen.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You do know Kvyat's no longer in Formula One?
I am aware of that, yes.
So we're clear, yeah?
I think this is an awakening for Verstappen. He's really turning it on now. He's got the bit between his teeth, and now we're looking towards 2018. And sometimes that momentum can carry on.
Yes.
So I feel that he's got one more win in him this season.
Okay.
At least one more win in him this season. So the championship's over. So yeah, there's no more trying to prolong that. So yeah, Verstappen for me. So who would you like for qualifying?
Let's see.
Oh, be daring.
Be daring.
You never know.
Be Darren.
No, don't be
I don't
Darren.
know who's
never be Darren.
Never be Darren. Yeah, no, that's madness. I'm going to go with Ricardo.
Ricardo, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm going to go for Verstappen for the win.
Okay.
So I feel it.
You feel it?
Yep.
Do you feel it in your fingers?
And in my toes.
And in your toes? Okay. I will go with... I'll go with Ricardo for the win.
Yeah, okay.
We're doing it. Let's go Red Bull, yeah.
Nice one. Okay. So, third column, where do we want to see Alonso? Oh, dear.
I've said it before, and I'll say it again, and I don't think it's going to happen, but I will. If I get this, I think I deserve like 5 points. I want him to, because he's broken down, to go up and do the flag.
I would love that. That would be amazing.
Or just to be a marshal in general, like waving a yellow flag or something. Waving a yellow flag for his own stricken Mercedes, McLaren.
Yeah. Waving a double yellow. Or maybe even driving the tractor that pulls it off the circuit.
Yeah, why not? It'd be more quicker. But I do have a better idea for a proper third column.
Okay.
Right, it may be an obvious one, but obviously Felipe Massa.
Ah, okay.
Where will he finish?
Massa. Okay. Where did he finish last? Oh, no, he broke down. He crashed out, didn't he?
Yes, and then he had that standing ovation, beautiful final goodbye. Oh. But since it's all up in the air this time, it's like...
Yeah, that moment is... No, you're crying. I'm not. Type moment, yeah. Okay, what? So are we going for where he's going to finish in the race?
Yes.
Okay, so hang on. Let me just have a little look back on where he finished 11th in Mexico. He finished 11th.
Do you want to know where?
Oh, no. Hang on. Where did he finish? He finished 9th in United States. Japanese Grand Prix. He finished 10th. Oh, so we're hovering around 10.
Well, he has his highest finish this season has been a 6th place in Australia and in Bahrain. Oh. And then it was a 9th in Russia, a 9th in Montreal, a 9th in Azerbaijan, a 10th in the UK, 2 8ths in Hungary and Spa, and then a 9, 10, and a 9.
Right. I'm going to go for 10th.
You're going to go for 10th, are you?
Yep. What do you want?
I'm going to, because I always feel that your home race, it's always good for a few tenths, if nothing else.
Yep.
Home crowd, you want to put on a good show. If we discount the usual 6 suspects of Mercedes, Red Bull, and the
red ones.
Ferraris.
Yep.
The red ones, because the red ones go faster. And then you've got the Force Indias. I reckon he might be able to pick one of the Force Indias, so I'm going to go with 8th.
8th. Okay. Right, well, that is in the books.
There you go. Just a 1/3 column, or
if you've got another one, I don't mind doing the fourth because I need all the points I can get.
You do, but I can't think of a really appropriate one. Although I'll tell you what, if anyone out there can think of one, send it to us on Twitter.
Yep.
And we can always pick on there and, make a decision then.
Yeah, so Grand Prix Pod on Twitter. We also have an email, which is boxboxbox@grandprixpodcast.com as well. You can send it there. We also have Facebook groups and pages, so you can join and post it up there if you want as well.
Or carrier pigeons,
Carrier pigeons are good, yes. We've got
make for good eating too.
Yeah, we've got 2 weeks, so it's fine. They'll get here in time. Quicker than my Amazon sometimes. So, looking forward to it?
Oh yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it. Like you said, it's one where I always look back on it with fonder memories than when I'm watching it, but I do always like watching the old Interlagos race. I just feel that it's because it's always that point where the championship's either over or effectively over. It's always a bit...
School's out.
A little bit.
Yeah.
For summer.
School is definitely out.
Forever.
Okay, so... I'm going to ask a question. Do you have any other podcasts that other people can listen to? Because now we've finished this episode, we might as well move on to other things that we can pimp out for other people to listen to.
Well, the only other place you can hear me now these days is on the Band of Brothers podcast with your good self, which, since we're not doing one of these next week, we might do one of those instead.
Yes. Yeah, I think that's the plan, yeah.
Yes, and we do love it when a plan comes together.
Definitely. Looking forward to that.
Yes.
You can catch me on the Black Dog podcast. Once again, it's not happening this week because someone's gone on holiday. So, yeah, I know. But the next film that we're going to be doing is Salem's Lot, which I have never, ever seen. I've been told to go into it blind as well. So, have you ever seen that?
Yes, I have seen it.
Okay. Is it a film that I'd like? Or would scare the bejesus out of me?
It's difficult because it's one of those films I've kind of came to probably earlier than I should have done. And it's certainly tamed by current settings. But knowing what pushes your buttons and knowing that you are, in your own words, a massive sissy.
Yep.
Possibly.
Oh, I am. I am, definitely.
No, I'm saying you'll possibly like it.
Okay.
It's because this is the mini-series version, is it?
I don't
David
know.
Soul and James Mason. Mason. Yeah.
Yes, it is. Yes, yeah.
Yeah, I think he'll. I mean, it is. Tis quality television, if you will.
Cool. Okay, cool. Yeah, you can catch that on blackdogpodcast.com next time we record on that. As Andy's already said, Band of Brothers podcast, which is all over at RogueTwoMedia.com. We've got shonkylab.com as well. That is all over at RogueTwoMedia.com. If you want to help the show and keep it on the air, then there's a donate button, there's a Patreon button as well. Or just spread it with likes and reshares and popping over to iTunes and giving it ratings over there. Why not do that for us? Until next time, bye-bye.
Ta-ra.
Especially if October's got a problem, because 2.8 has become 1.9 in the space of a lap, so that's going to happen, isn't it?